Good morning and welcome to P&B today, P&B morning show this Thursday morning. I want to say Barka the Salah. Yes, it's happy holidays. Of course, we are into the end of the Ramadan season. Yes, today is a public holiday. Tomorrow is also a public holiday. So I want to say Barka the Salah to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Now, we're looking at two unfolding tensions that strike at the heart of leadership and accountability in Nigeria. Now, first, a troubling scene in a courtroom where a judge allegedly ordered a lawyer to kneel has sparked outrage across the legal community. The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Afa Mosigwe, condemned the act, calling it inconsistent with judicial standards. But now, a group of lawyers is pushing back, insisting his public criticism undermines the bench and should itself be investigated. So where do we draw the line? When does speaking up for justice become a threat to judicial authority? And is this a sign of deeper cracks within Nigeria's legal system? At the same time, another question of leadership is playing out on a national scale as insecurity continues to challenge communities across the country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains active on the global stage. His foreign trips may be aimed at strengthening ties and attracting investment. But many Nigerians are asking, is this the right moment to be away? Is it strategic governance, or does it risk creating a perception of distance from the realities at home? So these are not just isolated issues. They speak to a broader theme: accountability, timing, and the delicate balance of power. So whether in the courtroom or in the corridors of power, Nigerians are watching closely. And this morning we ask the hard questions about leadership, responsibility, and what truly serves the public interest. So welcome to P&B Morning Show. I am Omike Joseph Murphy, your host. And of course, this morning, we'll be looking at these two major issues: the issues in the courtroom, and of course, the president's trip to the UK while Nigeria bonds. So we'll be going for a quick break. And when we return, as usual, we will dive into the newspaper review for you this morning. So stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. This is the P&B Morning Show. The newspaper review is the segment you are watching right now. And let's quickly dive into the papers. Very first one this morning is the Nation newspaper. Pomp, a splendor, mark hosting of Tinubu wife by King Charles. Pomp, splendor, mark hosting of Tinubu wife by King Charles. You can see the picture there, King Charles, and of course Queen Camilla, and Tinubu, President Tinubu, and of course his wife there in that picture. And of course that visit by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu attracted global attention. There's a lot of reportage on the president's visits to the UK. Okay, other stories this morning. Economy strong enough to withstand global shocks. Economy strong enough to withstand global shock. And that was a statement there from the CBN governor. So Kaduso is saying all that. So check out that story there in the Nation newspaper this morning. And of course, another story that might interest you: 80 terrorists crushed by troops in Borno night bombings. 80 terrorists crushed by troops in Brno night bombings. Okay. LP to pick presidential candidates May 23. LP, that's Labour Party, to pick presidential candidates May 23. The writer there, tomorrow is Eid al-Fitr, Sultan Abubakar declares. Tomorrow is Eid al-Fitr, Sultan Abubakar declares. So, tomorrow, Friday, is of course the Eid. The Sultan has declared. And other interesting stories in the Nation newspaper this morning. All right, so that's really interesting there from the Nation newspaper. Okay, let's move on to our next paper on the review. Let's move on to our next paper on the review this morning. The Punch newspaper is next, and it carries this headline, bold headline. Nigeria, Britain sets for fresh security alliance. Nigeria, Britain set for fresh security alliance. Yes, of course, with a lot of writers, and for you to check out the story. You also have that pictorial no picture there, a pictorial story there with President Tinubu and the King and the Queen of your United Kingdom, and of course, other pictures there to tell the story of the historic visit of President Tinubu to the UK. All right. Sultan declares Friday Eid, police and SCDC mobilize. Sultan declares Friday Eid, police and SCDC mobilize. That's interesting. Nigerian students arrested with 49 million naira cocaine in South Africa. Nigerian students arrested with 49 million naira cocaine in South Africa. All right. Okay. So you are a student, and only for you to be caught with cocaine worth over 49 million. Okay. And we have other stories there for you to check out. 24 billion naira public projects abandoned in states, according to reports. 24 billion public projects. Yes, 24 billion naira public projects abandoned in states. That's according to reports. AFCON global outreach as CAF hands Senegal's cup to Morocco. AFCON global outreach as CAF hands Senegal's cup to Morocco. Right. And of course, we have other interesting stories for you to check out on the Punch newspaper. Medicine shortages loom amid US-Iran conflict. Medicine shortages loom amid US-Iran conflict. So check out that story on the Punch newspaper. Imported petrol undercut local supply by 94 naira. Imported petrol undercuts local supply by 94 naira. All right. I think that's a really, really interesting story there. And let's quickly check out that story. The landing cost of imported petrol is 94.53, that's 53 kobo cheaper than the domestic gantry price, according to a report by the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria. This came as over 156 million liters of petrol arrived in Nigeria. And in its latest weekly reports, MIBAN disclosed that the landing cost of imported petrol as of March 16, 2026 stood at 1,080 naira 47 kobo per liter. All right, so that's interesting story there concerning fuel. And of course, check out that story on the Punch newspaper. Okay, I think we're done with the Punch, and let's check out another paper this morning. That's the Nigeria Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune. Military kills 80 SWAP members in Borno. Military kills 80 ISWAP members in Borno. Take ownership of fight against Boko Haram ISWAP. CDS tells Borno Yobe people. Take ownership of fight against Boko Haram ISWAP. CDS tells Borno Yobe people. Yes, the Battle of Malan Faturi has killed about 80 ISWAP members. And so if you read that story, you get to see how the military did that. Wike's PDP faction meets, says convention date sacrosanct. Wike's PDP faction meets, says convention date sacrosanct. Sultan confirms Friday as Eid al-Fitr. Sultan confirms Friday as Eid al-Fitr. You check that story on the Nigerian Tribune. UBA, NETCOM to unlock diaspora capital for Nigeria's growth. UBA, NETCOM to unlock diaspora capital for Nigeria's growth. Okay, so that story there is coming from the economy, the banking sector there. All right. Maiduguri explosion. No cause justifies killing of innocent people, Shetima. No cause justifies killing of innocent people, Shetima. Finally, the vice president has spoken. And some might ask, or some may be asking, he's speaking for the first time after the incident. And why is he speaking for the first time? Okay, so that's the headlines there from the Nigerian Tribune. I think we'll still have one coming from the agricultural sector. Serene adoption. Police say 2 out of 4 cocoa farmers rescued. Okay. Police say 2 out of 4 cocoa farmers rescued. 3 suspects arrested. And that's an interesting one there, coming from the Nigerian Tribune. Okay. So let me quickly introduce my colleague who just stepped into the studio. Yes, Chidi Kenneth. Good morning to you.
Yes, OJ, the morning is bright, and good morning to you. And my experience coming down to this place is something I would like to share with you briefly before we continue.
Yes.
The holidays have started.
Yes.
And everywhere is scanty, OJ.
That's the city of Abuja, city center.
Yeah, it's scanty. Not even just the city center, even looking down from the exits down to this place. It's interesting to know to get not a vehicle to bring you down to this place is a bit difficult. Everywhere is scanty. You could literally see no vehicle, no cab, no nothing. And it's like apart from the holidays is a mix. It's been greeted with so many mixed feelings. Scarcity of fuel, fuel hike. And rather fuel hike, cost of food and the rest of them. So people are happy to even start home. From my house to the estate gate, I did not see one bike. I didn't see anything to convey me, to carry me to the gate. It took me over 45 minutes to even get a vehicle.
Oh, wow.
So the whole place.
So there's no need. There's no need driving your car out. The holidays is when you say, okay, let me go and see a friend and all that. But this one, just relax at home and And by the time you see your tank, you say, okay, I think I can leave this little fuel I have for
wisdom is profitable to direct.
Yeah, so it's not a thing of surprise that the town is empty.
Very empty, OJ.
Empty, yes.
Maybe after the program, you can step aside and outside to
go and observe for myself.
Observe yourself. You see that the popular street in front of us here is it tells it all. It's scanty, OJ. You know what I mean? Scanty, very scanty. The city gate that we all know that usually is have some little form of gridlock and maybe what we call go slow in our local palace. There is no vehicle.
No vehicle.
No single one, OJ.
The road is free. You can even swim if possible.
At some point, you will think maybe the resident in Abuja is less than 100,000.
Oh my God! All right, so that's really good. Or maybe the day is still early. Perhaps the day is still early.
OJ, I'm telling you something. I ply the road every day.
No, I understand. I said
today is different, OJ. I could not from my house. Before now. I was trying to compare it with what my experience before now.
No, the point I'm trying to say is that people, of course, residents will still be lying down, sleeping, resting, and all that.
I think you would like to desire such things.
Yes, the Salah, break is upon us already. And so, at 7 o'clock, you'll still be lying down. You understand? So that's why I say the day is still early. Maybe from 10, 11, 12, activities will begin to pick up, perhaps. But not as we expect. Anyway.
As long as city gate is free, everybody's at home.
Everybody's at home. You expect that to happen. All right. Okay. So let's continue with the newspaper review this morning. And Chidi joining me. And so we've looked at the Punch, we've looked at the Nigerian Tribune, and of course, the Nation newspaper. And all of them are carrying the story of President Tinubu visiting the UK and to form part of what we'll be discussing today. And of course, over 80 ISWAP members neutralized by the Nigerian army in Borno State. And, those who are actually following the issue of insecurity in Nigeria will say that is a good news. And out of those 83 major commanders of the ISWAP group were neutralized, and the military even mentioned their name. And so these are some of the things we'll be looking at this morning. So let's move on with the other paper we have under review, the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper carries this story: insecurity, how Nigeria spent 32.8 trillion naira on defense in 15 years. That's huge. 32.8 trillion naira spent on defense in the last 15 years fighting insurgency.
And the insurgency has refused to subside.
Every day you hear about...
In fact, in the last 3 weeks now, we've had series of killings and bombings.
Consistent attack on villages, on
soft targets.
On soft targets, yes. On our military and all that. And it's still counting. The money is still counting because...
32 trillion is more than the national budget.
Of course, more than the national budget by far. More than the national budget by far. That is really, really interesting. So check out the Vanguard.
You can see why some might say that is why one of the reasons why this insecurity might not even end, because whether you like it or not, issues like this, some people benefit allegedly. They do. So some people, those in every negativity in life, somebody's benefiting.
Somebody's benefiting somewhere.
Or you not even have constant light. Somebody's cashing out. The man that is importing generator will sell. The man that is selling diesel and fuel will sell. In fact, back in the days in our university, when we used to want to watch Champions League, the what we call the joints, the realization joints, we gather money and allegedly and go and settle. So they will take off. There will be outage, so people can come to the joints and sit down. It's not bad, OJ. Then as far back as then when my university days. So somebody somehow, even when somebody dies, somebody is cashing out.
Yes.
If somebody is sick, somebody is cashing out. So that's the dog eat dog war that we find ourselves. So there is no free lunch in Freetown, OJ. So if somebody is sick, nobody say, "Oh, you are sick, okay, take this drug free of charge." You pay for the drug. The injections, you pay for it.
All right. So 32.8 trillion naira spent on defense in the last 15 years. Military chiefs arrived Borno after Tinubu's directive, and that's after the Maiduguri bombings, and the Vanguard is confirming that military chiefs arrived Borno after Tinubu's directive. Eid al-Fitr, Sultan declares Friday as Shawwal 1, religious prayers, and of course, tomorrow is the main Salah.
So today is more or less the eve.
The eve of Salah. That's what it means. Yes. And there is this article there that's really interesting. While Al-Majri are infiltrating Abuja, That's really interesting.
That's the story I think I will also want to look into too.
Yes, that's really interesting story there. All right. Of course. Let's move on. So that's the Vanguard newspaper for you this morning, and very interesting stories there. So check out the Vanguard newspaper for more of these juicy stories. We'll now move on to the Guardian. The Guardian this morning has this headline: AU rallied support against terrorism as CDS decries enemies within. AU rallies support against terrorism as CDS decries enemies within. Enemies within. The Chief of Defense Staff is saying that there are enemies within, because you begin to wonder how come these terrorists sometimes, ransack military formations, overpower military formations,
and defeat intelligence gathering.
You understand? So
this is not the first time the CDS is coming. Musa, the current minister of General Musa, retired. The current minister of Defense came out to say something like that too. When he was the CDS, he came out to say something like the videos are there. So it's not the first time. Now we have Olukaode. Am I correct? He's coming out to say something like that. And it even without them saying it, OJ, it is expected to see such a thing. Like I just said before now, I said every illegality or evil, somebody is benefiting from it. It takes a lot of things, a lot of factors to put together evil. Evil as it sounds. Evil, we have those who are called haters of humanity. There are those who don't see anything wrong in what they are doing. As long as it benefits them. They are wired like that. OJ, I have come across a lot in my life as a human being. Those who look at you and tell you to your face that what you are wearing is not suit. It is a native attire. And they will stand on it and argue it till tomorrow. So I've seen people like that, and sometimes you begin to wonder. In fact, on my way coming, my friend that gave me a lift close by, that was the issue I was discussing with him. That my little exposure in things in life, if anybody asks me, I'll say I begin to think there are people, there are wolves in sheep clothing. There are people who are not normal human beings. You begin to wonder how they are wired. I have seen a lot, men and women, that we benefit. They don't care. They don't care the source of the income. They don't care. What they want is that it is benefiting them.
So within the military, there are those who give information to the enemy.
They are everywhere, not just the military. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They are everywhere. They're in politics, they're in military, they're even in the media. They will report, they will see the truth and never say it because of what they will gain. They're everywhere. So when such people, and they have something going for them, desperation. They apply the Machiavellian principle. They ain't justified them. They don't care. Some of us, you still have your morals intact. That is why when you say certain things, you still have mixed feelings, mixture of conscience and and pragmatism. Some of these people they don't even have it at all. And some of them are in government offices. Some of them are handling sensitive positions.
So they are privy to information.
Yes. So that information they are giving out to the detriment of so many people, and to them is business.
It's business. And the worst thing, on Sunday or on Friday,
they will go and lift up dirty hands.
Yes, and say God is blessing, blessing them.
Of course, they pay tithes from such money. So there are people like that, and one will begin to wonder. The Holy Book. There's a story in the Holy Book where Jesus Christ told one of the disciples, "Get thee behind me, Satan." I was wondering what came out, what led to that statement. But now I'm no longer wondering, because I've actually seen some people displaying that satanic, tendencies. So such people are in the military. Such people, okay, imagine somebody riding a tricycle loaded with bombs and then moved where children are, and then detonate it. How is that person thinking? Can you imagine the thought pattern of such person? And somebody's happy for doing that. No feelings.
No feelings. Okay, so let's continue. The CDS is saying there are enemies within. That communities should, take the fights against Boko Haram literally in their own hands. The communities should mobilize.
How would a community take the fight, OJ? Or is it the community that doesn't have license to carry guns? So what do you defend yourself with? Is it your cutlass in your house?
Maybe he's saying you should mobilize. Why all these terrorists are doing it is because these communities are defenseless now. You see.
Well, there when arms were mopped up in Benue State a few years ago, and after the arms were mopped up, what happened? The Benue State has not remained the same till today. What do you do to defend yourself? OJ, this is not everything we come in front of the media to just see. Those communities should be armed. Some of those communities, they are far away from the nearest police station, far away from the nearest army barrack, far away from life.
Okay, let's move on. Yes, the Guardian. Tinubu, King Charles hold interfaith dialogue, deepens ties. Tinubu, King Charles hold interfaith dialogue, deepen ties. Okay. Ministries operations books open for probe, says Umahi. Ministries operations books open for probe, says Umahi. Umahi is always in the eye of the storm. Dave Umahi, the Minister of Works, always in the eye of the storm. From one problem to the other. 2 days ago, there was protest by the Minister of Works here in Abuja over some missing engineers also. All the time. Trying to defend himself on one issue or the other. So let's continue with the headlines. Ramadan ends today as Saudi Arabia Sultan declares Friday Eid al-Fitr. Ramadan ends today as Saudi Arabia Sultan declares Friday Eid. FG to transform correctional centers into food production hubs. FG to transform correctional centers into food production hubs. So what this story is saying is that, trying to say is that prisoners will be used as farmers. So they'll be producing food. Is that also? So they should be ready to produce food for the nation.
No, the 7 countries that have the best correctional centers in the world, the likes of France, the likes of Sweden, and the rest of them, that's what they do. The prisoners grow their food, cook their food. They train the prisoners, correctional center. They train some of them to become professional chefs and farmers. They go into real time, big time mechanized farming.
Produce food and sell to the public.
And
even have enough food.
Enough food even to cook. Have you go and Google it? I have the video. I will show you the 7 top countries with the best correctional center. We have Italy, we have France, we have Belgium, we have Sweden.
Germany
is number 1. in the world.
All European countries.
Yes, Germany. OJ, if you see the room of a prisoner in Germany, you want to go to prison. You will gladly go to prison if you see their meal. I am not exaggerating. I'm saying it live here. Some of them, if you see their meal, you hear that it's not in prison. You have not eaten that kind of meal.
But one thing, freedom,
well, it's called correctional center. So they have every other thing. The world is being reduced to their.
Somebody controls their freedom.
But the way they create their environment there is such a way that they also don't feel it that much. The only thing you are going to feel, for those of you that you might not be privy to the opposite gender, and so for those of us that want to relax, you know what I mean. So you are there alone, man to man, and that is when you understand the beauty of, when God says, "Man, it's not good for a man to be alone," and attach the woman
and other freedoms.
And other freedom. That's the ultimate one, OJ. That's the ultimate. You cannot you cannot stay with just a single gender for long. It can be boring sometimes.
Look, that is not even the issue. Freedom. You can't see your family, or you understand you are restricted. If you have the privilege of seeing your family, you are, it is programmed maybe once a month, once a week, or something.
I understand that part.
Phone call. See, freedom. Freedom is freedom.
I know, but there are people, you might interest you, there are people who also enjoy living apart, even in real life. There are women who are extremely independent. By the time we go into the personality differences, you understand. In fact, the best way they enjoy marriage and love is when the man is not even close to them.
Okay, so we'll leave that.
When such people find themselves in prison, isolated places, they don't really feel it much like those of you. You are family conscious. So maybe probably that's why you are sounding the way you are. There are people who don't care.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on from this. All right, so let's continue. Let's see what the correctional center centers will do. As the government is saying that they are trying to transform correctional centers into food production hubs. Okay, that would be good. Like what?
And it will save cost for government too.
Oh, yes,
because now
they'll be productive, not just staying in prison.
Yeah, they'll be productive ones
to themselves and society.
And it will save cost for government too.
Okay, so yeah, of course,
because government will no longer buy food and supply
to them. Okay, so PDP plans for convention despite internal conciliation talks. Okay, PDP plans for convention despite internal conciliation talks. State police gains momentum as Barrow meets committee promises safeguards. State police gains momentum as Barrow meets committee promises safeguard. That's the Deputy Senate President there. All right. And so many interesting, stories coming from the Guardian newspaper this morning. Lagos, 6 aides commissioners are set to resign for 2027 elections. 6 aides commissioners set to resign for 2027 elections. So in Lagos State, some aides and commissioners want to resign because they have,
political ambition for
political ambition. All right, so that's really good.
In compliance with the president's directive too.
The electoral guideline. In compliance with the electoral guideline.
In compliance with the electoral guidelines.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on from the Guardian. Which one do we have next? Let's quickly move on. Yes, this day is next, and this day is, the front page is filled with a picture of the presidents visiting the UK. You can see President Tinubu, his wife, King Charles and Queen Camilla there, and you can tell from the picture that.
It was a warm visit.
Yes, the president is enjoying himself in UK. Yes, he's enjoying himself.
But some may say that he actually went for business bilateral talks.
Yes, it's an official visit, and it all forms parts of the whole thing. form parts of the whole thing.
It's a full package.
Yes. It actually forms part of the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, so that's the president. So now so the This Day newspaper actually dedicated the front page, just pictures, the Tinubu state visit to the UK. And for those who know what is going on here, for This Day to dedicate, their front page paper for the president, that means that, yes, that something is amiss. Yeah, they don't. If you really want to read other stories in the This Day newspaper, now you have to go inside.
I forgot about the front page.
Yeah, you can see the front page. Just nothing. Royal banquets for President Tinubu and First Lady, because no wonder they are the owners of Arise newspaper, and they've been reporting the state visits of Tinubu to the UK as if they are the national television, the Nigerian Television Authority. you understand? So
the national newspaper.
So something commercial is happening there. So with all the things happening, This Day newspaper did not bother to take any headline on what is going on.
On internal issues.
The internal issues is the issue of the president's visits to the UK. Anyway, the media is business now. If you need to survive, it's big time business.
But I hope that maybe probably they are going to tell us finally the outcome of that visit too. The way they have projected the visit. I want to appeal to them to also project the outcome, because one will also want to believe that
I think the visit is ending today. It's a 2-day visit.
Yes, yeah. we are very hopeful that
the president will be meeting the prime minister today, and we are monitoring what is happening in the UK. You understand? We are monitoring. Okay, so let's move to perhaps our last paper for the day, if I'm not mistaken. From, of course, the This Day now to Daily Independent. EU seeks global action against terrorism in Nigeria. We have some riders there as troops kill over 80 terrorists in Borno. CDS to Borno, Yobe take ownership of terror fights. I think we've mentioned this earlier. That's the CDS telling residents of Borno and Yobe. Federal government investing in equipment to tackle terrorism, according to Shatima, the vice president. Okay, that's really interesting there. Okay, Labour Party fixes May 23 for 2027 presidential primaries. Labour Party fixes May 23 for 2027 presidential primaries. Sanusi to lead Kanu Salah Doba as government tightens security. Sanusi to lead Kanu Salah Doba as government tightens security. So it is now official from the state government that it is Sanusi, Emir Sanusi, that will lead the Doba and not Ado Bayero. There's been
tussle in the Emirates.
Tussle among the two emirs who will lead the Doba tomorrow. And now it's now official. The Kano state government has said it is Sanusi Lamido that will do it. And so that's to tell you who is supporting or who is behind Sanusi Lamido as the emir of Kano. And like someone will say, these are two brothers. You understand? They are two brothers fighting for a throne, and it's uncalled for and all that. They should do and say to themselves, because Emir Sanusi Lamido is laying claim to the throne. Ado Bayero is also laying claim to the throne and all that. So, but anyway, the government has spoken, and tomorrow tomorrow the Durban will happen. I remember when I was in Kano, once it is a day like this, like the Durban day like this, very, very interesting. You see colorful, parade. It's those in Kano know what the Durban is. You understand?
Well, so I don't want to say much, but it's just that like you said, two brothers are jostling for power. These are the things that we see when it comes to the issue that borders on power. Power is something that attracts a lot of challenges We have the seat tight syndrome challenge. Some people don't want to let go, and power is something that questions your pride. It questions, it has a lot to do with your pride as a human being. So sometimes the way we talk, we go about power in this part of the world, we forget that sometimes these things are transient. However, we do know that the power of the Emirates, it seems to be permanent, because that is the only seat that, until you have gone to the great beyond, you remain there. It's not an elective position.
Yes.
You are there, you are there. So then we hope that very soon they will resolve this issue, because and we hope that the Durban will go on well, knowing fully well that we have two rivals. And we would hope to see that maybe this one is organizing a separate Durban, and the other person is.
Now, once we get government backing, now that Emir Sanusi has gotten the government backing, so it's his own as is recognized. Yeah, of course, it's state government. It's not the federal government issue; it's the state government. So, all right. So let's move on. Let's move on, and let's see which other one we have. There we have other stories there. Government invade institute, adopt 4 farmers in Ibadan. Government invade institute, adopt 4 farmers in Ibadan. Long-acting breakthrough HIV injectables arrive in Nigeria. Long-acting breakthrough HIV injectables arrive in Nigeria. So this story is from the health sector. ADC demands action for El-Rufai after 30 days in detention. ADC demands action for El-Rufai after 30 days in detention. So check out all these stories on the Daily Independent this morning. And of course, enjoy your holiday wherever you are. So let's check out, I think my producer is telling me that we'll still have one more or so, and coming from the world of sports. And yes, from the world of sport, just Sports Extra. The publishers are the Punch newspaper. Fresh blood, Fernandez Otile saw receive first Eagles scallop. All right. Chill drops Osimhen Nwabali. So that's the friendly coming up later this month. The friendly with Iran and Jordan. Okay. Osimhen crashes out of UEFA Champions League. Lookman survives Spurs scare. Yes, Galatasaray were dumped out of the Champions League last night. But for Atletico Madrid, they are still on. So that's what that story is telling you about. So many interesting stories in the world of sports there from the Sports Extra. So all you need to do is to check out the Sports Extra this morning, the newsstand, for you to get all these juicy sporting headlines there. So let's go for a quick break. And when we return, we'll try and check out our very first issue of the day. So stay with us. This is the P&B Morning Show. All right, welcome back to the program. Welcome back to the morning show. This is the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. So this morning, we're looking at this very first issue on the show. A storm is brewing within Nigeria's legal community. A sitting judge orders a lawyer to kneel in court, sparking outrage. only for the president of the Nigerian Bar Association to publicly condemn the action. But now, a counter-attack. A group of lawyers is calling for that same NBA president to face disciplinary action. So where is the line between defending justice and undermining judicial authority? Is this about professional conduct, freedom of speech, or a deeper crisis within the legal system? We'll try and break it down this morning. Of course, Chidi Kenneth is still in the building, or is still in the studio with me. And we're hoping to have a legal practitioner joining us, if possible, via by virtual this morning. So when we have him, we'll let you know about that. So Chidi, you're welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you, Oche.
Yes, welcome back to the show. Of course, this morning we're looking at judicial authority versus free speech. Now, this is, I hope you followed the story of Marshal Abubakar, a lawyer that a chief judge asked to kneel down in court.
Did he kneel down?
He didn't. He didn't kneel down.
I want to salute him first.
He's a man. I mean, he's a lawyer representing Showore in court, and the judge was angry that he raised his voice. He was not. He was not behaving in an orderly manner. And I asked him to kneel.
His conduct was not becoming that of. It was not that of
yes,
the lawyer.
in his courtroom, only for him to be asked to kneel down, but he didn't do that, and other lawyers had to intervene for the judge not to take further action against the lawyer. Only for the NBA president, I beg your pardon, Osigwe, to now issue a statement concerning that, condemning what the judge has done. And some group of lawyers yesterday are now calling for the Nigerian Judicial Council to investigate the NBA president himself for condemning the judge in public, that he's not supposed to condemn the judge in public.
But the judge asked the lawyer to kneel down in public.
So that's the situation now. So this morning, so what do you make of this development in our judiciary?
I just started by asking you that the judge actually told the lawyer to kneel down in public. The courtroom is not a private place, much as I know. So if the judge can tell the lawyer to kneel down in public, so what is public about the speech of the NBA chairman? The NBA, it was not a national broadcast, was it? It was just a statement he made from in his capacity as the NBA chairman. Am I correct, sir?
Yes.
So what is public about his speech? OJ, sometimes some of these judicial rascalities that we see is beginning to undermine the trust we, the common man, have on the judiciary. And it's that time we started saying the truth the way it is. What is bad is bad. You see, this issue of, they say the law is an axe, in the sense that the law has different direction. People come out to defend what is not defendable. Kneeling down in court, I don't think, as a layman, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that has anything to do with the law profession. That's personal.
So are you now saying that the judge was not right to order a lawyer to kneel down in court?
Is he his son? It's not right in any sense. Even in the military, they don't just kneel a soldier down like that until he commits some, maybe he violates the rule. And the law is not okay. Let's assume in the military that can be done. The general can also, of course, demand that you go down on your knees or you squat down, as the case may be. But you see, the law, as it is a noble profession. There are rules. There are rights. These are the custodians of the law, those who interpret the law to make us understand where our limits are. The judge has no right to do that. That man is not his son. That man can also become the judge. So I'm trying to, so I don't know. Probably the judge should put on a military uniform. You're telling a lawyer to kneel down?
Okay, now.
A lawyer that is even there to litigate on a matter?
Okay, now, the argument here is that, okay, let me quickly read the story to you. Now, a group of lawyers under the Nigerian Law Society, okay, has called on the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kekereodun, to refer the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Afam Osigwe, San, to the Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee for allegedly reprimanding a judge in public. Reprimanding a judge in public. Now, I think we need that statement from the NBA again, NBA chairman, whether was that a reprimand or an advice? Because I think the statement condemned the act of the judge. Okay, but as far as this group of lawyers are concerned, he reprimanded the judge in public. Now, so the LPPC, responsible for conferring the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria and maintaining professional standards among senior lawyers, so was urged to investigate the NBA president's conduct and determine appropriate sanctions if necessary. So the NLC, that's those group of lawyers, now demand follows an incident at the Federal High Court on Monday, where Mohammed Umar ordered defense counsel, that's the judge now, Judge Mohammed Umar, ordered defense counsel Mashar Abubakar, representing politician and publisher Omoyole Sowore, to kneel down in open court for raising his voice during proceedings. So Justice Umar also threatened to commit the lawyer to prison for contempt before other counsel intervened and pleaded for leniency, prompting him to withdraw the directive. Now, reacting to the development, Osigwe, in a statement on behalf of the NBA. Now, the NBA president was writing on behalf of NBA, not on behalf of himself.
That's why I say he spoke in the capacity from his office.
Yes, now condemned the judge's action. Okay. Now, however, the NLC described the NBA's president's response as inappropriate and capable of undermining the authority of the judiciary. So what they are now saying is that he should have reported the matter to NJC, but not publicly condemning the action of the judge on behalf of the NBA. For that reason, he should.
We have the NJC, we have the NBA. Yes. These are two separate bodies, one umbrella, judiciary. And the NBA's chairman has his own statutory rights. And the chairman of the NJC also has his own statutory right. Now, in his capacity as the NBA chairman, he spoke, of course. He has the right, first, even as a human being, to react to such act. Because, much as I know, I don't think kneeling down is part of the disciplinary action melted to lawyers who err in court. Let's assume there was contempt of court, as the case may be. Is kneeling down the best way to go? I don't know the last time I checked if the judiciary have decided to change from the ropes to khaki. No, let's get it straight. The kind of punishment melted to that young lawyer is what is raising this whole dust. OJ, to kneel down, you can't even tell me to kneel down like as I am like this.
So the judge could have maybe asked him to walk out of the court.
Simple. They should be looking at the judge itself, in as much as they're trying to say that the NBA chairman is trying to undermine whatever thing he wants to undermine. The judge in itself is also not respecting the sanctity of that rope, the bench. Do you know what it is for a lawyer to kneel down in court? Which one is more public, OJ? Of course, in court, we had a lot of people there. And you're asking a lawyer to kneel down. A lawyer that is most probably going to be a would-be judge. So what precedents is he laying for the younger ones that are coming up?
Okay. Now, now our emphasis this morning now is that now the NBA chairman, okay, now made a public comment on behalf of NBA, and this group of lawyers are now saying what the NBA chairman did is wrong. Why should he reprimand a judge in public? So, are you now, so this group of lawyers, who do you think they are working for? Who do you think they are working for? Because now they are calling for disciplinary action against the NBA chairman, who is a senior lawyer. It's a son who released a statement on behalf of NBA, on behalf of lawyers.
OJ, who they
in
are
the country.
OJ,
that look, what the judge did
OJ,
is wrong.
If I'm to
speak, and also he also called on lawyers to behave well. He tried to
OJ,
balance.
OJ, don't worry yourself. Yes. I understand where you are going to. OJ, what matters is it is not the lawyers that are trying to counter the actions of the NBA chairman should also understand that they are worsening the issue. Because why? People are watching. Actions and inactions of lawyers and MBAs and whatever it is and judges, the common man is watching. They say the judge or the lawyer or the court, as it were, is the hope of what? The common man. When you begin to see this judicial drama, rascalities everywhere, what hope does it hold for the common man? Now, who they are working for doesn't matter in this case. What matters is the image they are portraying. Must you counter everything? So a few weeks down the line, both of us were talking about this issue of somebody looking at something that is as glaring as black is black, and somebody will come up and start arguing it. Okay, let's assume the deed has been done. This whole rascality, whoever is sponsoring them is further depleting, further diminishing the judiciary, the respect. If I'm not seeing an ambition to become a lawyer or my child to become a lawyer, things like this may discourage me. Because those days, OJ, when you see lawyers, there's this respect you give to them. But these kind of things, I want to appeal to them. They should not watch their dirty linen outside. Whatever has happened, they should. Have you visited any court to bar before? You see the ritual, you see the orderliness, the ambience. You would like to be a lawyer. Learned colleagues, men who have saddled the responsibility to uphold the law, customs of the land, and then you are telling that person to kneel down. In public. That's why I'm asking, who is more public than who? Is it the speech that is public or the action that is public? Telling a man to kneel down in court. I'm sure the lawyer is not less than 18 years. Of course. So let's look at his fundamental rights first as a human being. He was a human being first before he became a lawyer. Now, let's also look at it from here. You know, there are cases of indiscipline among lawyers too these days. But there are measures. I'm not disputing that. Yes. I'm not against the fact. Probably, I'm not saying the guy must have probably breached, committed what we call contempt of court. I'm not holding brief for him. For raising his voice unnecessarily. It's wrong. If he did that, it's wrong. He should be penalized. We're not telling him to kneel down. Such punishment, you see it within the corridors of the military, or even in your house, when you can tell your child to kneel down. Not in court. My problem there is that is the height of what I don't. Is it judicial? As I'm going to call it, telling me to kneel down, even as a suspect standing trial in court, the judge cannot tell him to kneel down. The judge doesn't have that power to over a suspect to not talk of a lawyer who is also litigating a matter. That is why when you have been arrested as a suspect, they say you have the right to remain silent. So there is a right. Okay. All right. Now, having seen all this, can we also say that okay, maybe the NBA president could have handled this matter differently?
rather than releasing a statement in public.
What, did he grant a press release?
Yes, he granted a press release. That is where the premise of all this issue is coming from.
Because of the sanctity of the nature of the office of the judge.
Of the judge, that you are not supposed to have
expose the judge that much.
Yes, that there are processes, there are channels you could have followed, but maybe petitioning the NJC, the National Judicial Commission, that look, this is what this judge did. So the public will not know that all this is happening. That is the annoyance of this group. You understand? And the annoyance of this group. So, do you think that the NBA chairman too could have done or handled this matter differently? Like, if it were if it were the police or the army, like you said, they will say they want to handle this whole thing internally. So, could it be that this matter was not really handled internally? That the judiciary, as an institution, are exposing themselves to the public?
You cannot. I want to believe that the people reacting also, to an extent, if I'm to strike a balance in this matter, they also have a point. You cannot. How do I put it? You cannot really. You cannot. Approach a matter the same measure. Two wrongs cannot make a right. Yes, the judge might have done something wrong, probably spontaneous. If I'm trying to think aloud, and the MDA chairman would have also come out openly like that too. So it is openness versus openness, if I may put it like that. Telling a lawyer to kneel down in the public, and you also coming out to make public space statement. That it negates the sanctity of that profession that is so respected daily. If you look at the way a lawyer is being molded, down to the law school, down to being called to bar, it's sacred. It's sacred. So that sacred nature of that bench is what the people is trying to protect. That yes, the judge must have done something wrong, allegedly, but you shouldn't have also rebuked him or make a speech openly like that too. Further, depleting the sanctity. It will interest you to know that even in the military, there are certain things that are treated behind closed doors. They won't let you know.
But also, if things are done that way, if this matter was handled that way, let's say the NBA president would have handled, the matter the way
without attracting public
attention to it now. Do you think that it will serve as a deterrent to other judges who might also want to do it in future? For instance, okay, now that the NBA president has come out to rebuke or to condemn the action of this judge in public, now other judges will now be careful in melting this kind of action on lawyers in their courtrooms, going forward. Don't you think, if you look at it from that perspective too, it is also a good thing that the NBA president...
if I'm to answer that question, it depends on the strength and the power behind the office of the NBA chairman.
The NBA president is a powerful figure as far as the law profession is concerned.
Now,
every law, you understand, the MB, the Nigerian Bar Association, you know how powerful they are.
Yes.
So and this is the president talking. You are talking about the president of the Nigerian Bar Association.
Yes. So if that is the case,
yes.
If that is the case, then looking at the question you have asked, he has his right to protect his people.
So his action is protecting one of his own. In as much as you don't behave like this, but judge, you have overstepped your boundary.
He is protecting his people. The chief of defense staff and the chief of army staff, they are not the same thing. The chief of defense staff is a ceremonial head that oversees all the armed forces. But the soldier man, the army, what we call soldier army, is loyal to the chief of army staff first. coax.
And the coax will do everything to protect.
Thank you.
The army.
Just the way the flight lieutenant is loyal to the chief of air staff. Then the chiefs are now loyal to the CDS. That's the chain command. So the lawyer there, his loyalty, his allegiance is to MDA chairman. That is his father. So the father is protecting the son, as it were, if you have to put it that way. So that is what I'm trying to talk about here. So the MDA chairman has spoken in his capacity as the father of lawyers.
And now some of the lawyers are the ones who are now calling for his
further messing up the sanctity of the profession. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know sometimes, you see, I don't know if some lawyers enjoy these counter arguments. If I were to be a lawyer, there are some cases I will not attend to. OJ, I saw a lawsuit, somebody challenging. In fact, I was going through a law writ of summon, and I'm not a lawyer, but in my mind, I was telling the court clerk or whoever the court believe that sometimes people should investigate certain matters before you even administer it in court. It's so laughable. Somebody will be challenging public statements that is not even, and telling you that you are connecting it to him. For example, you come out and says, some people are fond of not eating in the morning, and somebody will come and say, why are you talking to me that I'm not eating in the morning? Are you the only one that doesn't eat in the morning? And somebody will go to court and challenge and sue you that you're insulting him, that you said people don't eat in the morning. Are you the one? You see such things, allegedly, you see them, you see such court summons, and it's laughable. So what am I trying to say? Things like this, they should find a way to handle it. Those lawyers coming to counter the statement of, I don't know who is behind them, I don't know who is engineering them, but whoever is doing that is further not helping the law profession. That's what I'm trying to say. It's bad enough to know that the kneeling down issue came public. It's also
because it is in a public court.
Yes. Civil people that are not lawyers saw it. Because the court, they saw it. It's all the lawyers are in court now. Normal Nigerians are in court too.
Yes.
They saw it. And such things it has gone viral. The best thing is not to start countering each other and start countering the speech. The best thing is to come together and see how they can bury this matter amicably and settle it honorably. But coming to, attract more attention up to the extent that we journalists are now journalists, of course, the media is feasting on it now. And it is sending a strong and negative signal to those who probably want to be lawyers. If that is allowed to happen, the lawyer should kneel down in court.
And he knelt down.
I am telling you, some people will throw away their gowns.
Enough is enough.
Do you know the pride that is associated with the law profession? The pride? And you tell that person to kneel down? You can see the case of a minister in this country, I don't want to call the name of the minister, where a lieutenant said, I'm acting on order. We saw it. When they said, you are a fool, he said, I'm not a fool. Leave this place, I'm not going to leave. I am acting on what? Order. From a trickster general. He is ready to pay the supreme price just to protect an order. If the minister had succeeded that day, it will deplete the strength of that regimental order. That is like an oath. The power of that formation called the military. That is how highly respected the military holds on to such command, such chain of power and command. Obey the last order. They have similar things like that in the law profession. And there you are telling a lawyer A man who can send somebody to prison? A man who protects the rights of the citizens? A man who is adjudged to be seen as the hope of the common man? A preacher of justice? And you are telling somebody to kneel down. And kneeling down, much as I know, like I said before, is not one of the kind of punishment known to law, melted to and any lawyer that has erred, whatever kind of mistake you've made in court. Yes, let's assume you raise your voice, which I'm not in support of, but kneeling down, sir, I have not heard of that, OJ. Globally, I have not heard of it. Not even in Nigeria.
Okay, so how can, because from all indication, it appears that the bench and the bar are having some issues now, as far as the Nigerian judiciary is concerned. It's like the judges are looking at the lawyers with one eye, that they are not disciplined. So what should be done to make sure that the bench and the bar cooperate and make sure that they administer justice the way Nigerians really want? Not a situation where a judge will be telling a lawyer to kneel down in open court, and somebody will come out and condemn the judge in public also. So,
OJ, first of all, they should spell out the boundaries. Spell out the limits and the boundaries. Let's know it. What are your limits as a judge? What kind of powers do you carry? Where does it end? Does the judge have the right to tell a lawyer to kneel down?
Or punish him in a certain way?
What are other measures? They should spell it out too. What are the powers of the NBA chairman? What are the powers of the NJC? Does the NBA chairman also have the power to caution a judge to make such speech on over a judge? These are challenges that, as to me, is posing a threat, and it's recent. So now it has raised some form of lacuna, and it must be covered, it must be treated. Because sometimes some of these people occupying different positions don't know their limits. That's why you see a governor will be in power and I think he's a demigod. He can do and undo. So let them spell out the boundaries and the limits. Let's know if the judge can tell a lawyer to kneel down under the law profession. And let's also know if the NBA chairman has the power, as it were, quote and unquote, rebuke the judge. Does he have such powers as it's being perceived by the other groups? And what are the powers of the NJC too? NJC.
The NJC is the body that oversees the law profession generally,
including the NBA chairman.
The law profession generally.
Good. So let's know. Let's know where the is and the was, as they used to say. Because until this is spelled out, everybody will be encroaching on each other's boundaries. And for that's what it's called fundamental human rights. There are fundamental rights, basic rights. Before that guy became a lawyer, first of all, he has a right as an adult, as a Nigerian. Let's spell out those rights. OJ, if even in every organization, not just the law profession, any organization that rights and limits are not being spelled out, anarchy will continue to happen there. There will be commotion and conundrum going on there. So this is now creating another big lacuna, and it should be treated with every sense of urgency. Or else we'll begin to see one day the judges will slap a lawyer. Or a lawyer will get up in court and walk out on a judge. The boy, of course, from the report, raised his voice on the judge. He has no right to even raise his voice, even on a suspect.
All
The
right.
suspect, OJ, a suspect, a criminal undergoing trial, still has rights. So even a lawyer cannot even yell at the suspect in court. Yell on a suspect, sorry. So these are the boundaries that should be spelled out, and let us know. And why they should spell it out is because the common man is watching.
Yeah.
The common man is what? Is watching. Already, allegedly, there's a lot of damage done on the legal profession already. Looking at certain kind of judgment you see sometimes, and all kinds of injunctions and counter injunctions. This one will go to High Court Kano, secure an injunction. This one will go to High Court Port Harcourt, counter it. This one will go to High Court Kebbi State and get. It begins to appear as though these things are you can shop around.
Okay, so as we wrap up, let's quickly look at the tenure of the Nigerian Bar Association president Osigwe. Recently he has made two public comments that has generated controversy. The first in recent time was when he said some judgments are bought with money. Is the NBA chairman that said it. This same NBA chairman who in a function has said that some judgments in Nigeria are bought with money. And then this one that some people are now calling for, you understand, for him to be. So should he also, do you think that he's outspoken saying the truth about the law profession, or should he also mellow down on his public statement concerning the institution, the judicial institution? So what advice, if we may give him this morning, should he also, should we give him this morning? Should he mellow down his public statement concerning the profession? An NBA chairman coming out to say that some judgments in Nigeria are bought. And then this happened. He came out in public again and, condemned the action of the judge. So is he a fearless NBA chairman?
Or
radical NBA chairman that we should just allow him be, let him just say the truth, or should he also mellow down in some of his public comments?
OJ, there are some certain offices that requires high level of diplomacy. Not because you don't know the truth, but to protect certain outrage and perception. I said it sometimes here that perception is everything. In fact, perception is so dangerous that you can commit an offense and you are forgiven. The perception lingers for long. When somebody creates it. Image, branding is key in every sector in life. I understand the fact that he probably, as his nature as a person, might also be battling against him. I always go towards the psychological aspect of human reactions. LJ, there are people who are blunt by nature. They say it the way it is. They are radical by nature. I think I find myself in that category too. They'll look at your face and say it is black. They will not say, well, it looks like black. No. It's black. They will tell you your glasses is white. Even at gunpoint, they will say it. So probably he falls within that nature and is playing out in his office. However, he should understand that the position of the NBA chairman requires some level of diplomacy too. There are ways you can say it that you have also passed your message, but you're not being that blunt. Because we're in a world today where you need to be, certain things need to be managed for peaceful coexistence. Somebody told me one day that certain rascality is allowed at certain levels, not because it is correct, but it's because it is necessary for national peace. Even as a married man, there are certain things you will tell your wife. You can't tell your wife the entire truth. There are some truth you will tell your wife. It will cost you your marriage. in the name of you love your wife, you will lose that marriage. You will lose your respect. So there's certain level of diplomacy needed. Like in our holy book, Abraham at some point told some people that Sarah is not my wife. Oh, she's my sister. If he didn't do that, they would have killed him. If he had gone to say, oh, no, she's my wife, that would have been the end of Abraham there. So the NBA chairman should understand that too. Yes, we may have rumors and counter rumors of judgments being bought. Everything is being bought everywhere. OJ. Crime is universal. Everywhere there are more than 2 or 3 people, crime is inevitable. In fact, there's a saying in our local palace that when you start giving birth to more than 4 to 5 children to 6, you will begin born armed robber. You are likely to born one that is a thief. That will be a thief. So, in every group or association, as it were, we may have challenges like that. That is part of the fabric of that organization. By selling judgment, and of course, an average, of course, we sometimes we watch the televisions, we see judgments in our tribunals, we see a governor leading with 20-something, 30,000 votes. We see governors winning election with just 3 local government and declaring winner. We see some kind of funny judgments on TV. You don't need a blind man to tell you that some hanky-panky is going on allegedly. But because you are occupying the position of the NBA chairman, there are better ways you can put these things. Not to further diminish
the institution.
The institution.
Okay.
Because your statement carries weight. And if an ordinary lawyer says that, it can be waved aside. That is why the statement of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a policy statement on its own. It's law. Subsidy is gone. Shikena. And
the consequences followed.
Immediately. Service chiefs relocate to Borno.
And today they are there.
They are there. They are residents of Borno State now, as we speak. So you must understand that to whom much is given, much is what?
Expected.
Is expected. So what is expected of him is I want to appeal to him to understand that he might be, what is his name again? Osigwe. There's an Osigwe that is Osigwe from where he comes from, and an Osigwe as NBA chairman. He must understand the dynamics of his position and personality, and then play it the way it's supposed to be. Going forward, my appeal to him is to please be very careful, choose his words. If he wants to speak like an activist, he should also step down from that office, like the likes of Showore, who is an activist, and that also gives him the right to speak bluntly the way he's speaking. But as the NBA chairman, you should understand that his speech is being monitored by both the layman, the would-be lawyers, and the professionals, and all kinds of human beings, because it's coming not from his mouth, but from his office.
All right. Thank you very much, Achidi, Kenneth, for your take this morning on this issue. Judiciary authority of free speech. Of course, it is a debate in the judiciary whether or not the comments or the condemnation of a judge asking a lawyer to kneel down in an open court by the Nigerian Bar Association is wrong or right. Let the debate continue. And of course, we'll keep watch on that development and bring you up to speed with that. We'll be going for a quick break, and when we return, we'll surely, deal with other issues again before we wrap up the show this morning. This is a P&B Morning Show. Okay, welcome back again. This is a P&B morning show on a Thursday morning. We are back, and let's quickly, treat this issue this morning. Nigeria faces mounting security challenges at home, yet President Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues to engage on the global stage. While foreign trips can strengthen diplomacy and attract investment, many are asking, is this the right time? Are these travels strategic leadership in action or a disconnect from the urgency of the moment? So we examine the timing, the optics, and the impact of President Bola Tinubu's journey or trip to the UK. National crisis versus global engagement. Tinubu's trip well-timed. Still with me in the studio is Chidi Kenneth. Chidi, when is the right time for the president to travel for the interest of the country? criticism of the president traveling to the UK.
OJ, you can see I'm taking my time to speak on this because I can look at it different ways, from different angles. The president traveling to UK in itself, it's not a bad idea. It's a welcome development for the president to travel. We know that some of these travels are to attract, foreign investments or seal, bilateral ties, as it were, politically and economically. So I'm not in any way condemning the traveling of the president. However, there's time for everything. Some might say, oh, he has the structures on ground. The service chiefs are there. He must not be around. But the president is the chief security officer, saddled with the responsibility to protect lives and properties, just as he swore to the Constitution of the nation. What happened in Borno State is enough for any president to cancel any trip. If not for anything, to show that connection with the people is enough. We're talking of lives lost. If I were to be the president, I would have canceled that trip, then make a U-turn and then fly to Borno State. And one certain about this traveling is that, most times, most of our Nigerian presidents allegedly travel abroad more than they travel within the country.
Yes. And we have instances. I think we have a video where this journey is being criticized for the number of entourage he took for this trip. About 100.
What's the name of that African president? Ramaphosa?
Ramaphosa of South Africa.
I watched a video where he traveled alone with just 2 people. Do you know the economic implication of the president traveling with an entourage? See, do you know the funny thing, OJ? The same people that will receive him at the airport here, that will bid him farewell. Another set will still travel and go and wait for him there at the airport again to receive him again. Cost of governance, running government. Is it economically viable to do that? What are they going to receive him to do? Is he going for a party? Under whose pockets? Some of these monies are government monies being spent. And here we are, even here in the federal capital, where the president lives, we have primary schools that don't have chairs. You see why I tell you that there are some people, the way they think and the way they talk, you begin to wonder, are these human beings? They don't care. Like I started by saying, I don't have any problem with the president traveling. I am in support of the president's traveling. But there's time for everything. For me, I cannot travel when people are dying in my country. What happened in Maiduguri can be compared to a war scene.
Okay, what if now this state visit has already been planned, and any postponement of this state visit might mean that the president will miss this opportunity this time around opportunity for him to travel again to the UK, because the king must have lined
His itineraries.
yes, itinerary for the year, that so times visit, you understand, so must have planned the visit, and this is the appropriate time for the Nigerian president to visit. If not now, maybe 2026 is over, and it's a golden opportunity, knowing fully well that, okay, we're heading to the elections. The president might want to now seal this deal now, or else might now have another opportunity again this year before the election, in case he doesn't come back again. So putting all these things together, so don't you think that all these things could just be
as beautiful as it sounds, OJ? Compare it pari passu, face to face, just oppose both of them. Loss of lives and visiting the prince of the king of whatever, England. Which one is weightier?
But he has his deputy, the vice president, is there. Like you said earlier, the service chiefs are there. The governor of the state is not even in Borno State. The governor of the state is far away in Saudi Arabia. He has not also returned. So why are people concerned about the president that is not around?
OJ,
is the governor that is near, the president that is supposed to be, the person who is nearer to the people more than the president. The governor is in Saudi Arabia. He has not cut short his visit, though he went for Umrah, the Hajj. You understand? It's not in the state. It's not in the state.
Okay, let me say something about that. So why the governor traveled before the incident?
Yes.
So he was away when the incident happened.
Yes.
The president was in the country when the incident happened. So there are two different scenarios here. The president, and secondly, Nigeria is a very powerful country of great economic importance to England. Of great economic importance to England. So Nigeria is a country that is needed. If I'm to say it the way it is. Between Nigeria going to England and England to Nigeria, who is benefiting more?
So are you saying that it is England that should benefit more?
I'm saying that they need us more than we need them.
If things were done right,
whether rightly or not, I'm talking about in terms of economic advantages. Yes, they colonize us, but we have what they need. They don't have what we need. Of what benefit is England to us? Has England benefited you? Does the common man in the street see anything, the dividends and benefits of England as a modern nation to Nigeria? A musician even sang a song to that effect. So what is the haste going to England? They are the one benefiting from us more. OJ, IELTS exam alone, IELTS British Council exam in Nigeria alone generates billions. I have written it several times. Medical and educational tourism to England, Nigerians to England, billions, millions of pounds. I don't want to go to other aspect of economic advantage. What economic advantage does England have in Nigeria that is speaking volume? So I don't want to be pushed to start saying certain things. So we are even on top of our game. England needs us more. More. So what am I saying to say? It's a trip that can be postponed.
Okay.
It can be postponed. As a modern nation, I don't know since I was born. I've not been. OJ, you want to go to England today? Visa. You will pay over many thousands of naira. Not refundable. Do you know how many visa applications that is being cancelled daily in Nigeria? The money in British Embassy and British Council generate on visa application cancelled visa application. The revenue is huge. I've just given you 4 different kinds of huge adventures that goes on in this country that generate billions for England. I don't want to go to other areas.
Okay, so what you are saying in essence is that,
how many times have they visited us?
Of course,
after 1960 and the rest of them, and then maybe Chogam, 2003, the Queen came.
The Queen came. So, so in essence, what you
commissioned the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah. So what you are saying in essence is that it was ill-timed for the president to travel to the UK.
Yes, he would have suspended because he was there when this thing happened.
Okay, what if he had visited Borno State before traveling? Would all this
you see, OJ, we are a country. You should understand the thinking of an average Nigerian. An average Nigerian doesn't need too much from you as a leader. Just, oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Just the mere visit of the president to that state to see things for himself and sympathize with his citizens of Borno State goes a long way in the psyche of an average citizen or indigene of that state.
And not releasing of statements.
If you understand the people, some of our leaders don't understand how they follow the people think. If you understand the way we think, you know that a Nigerian is a very an average Nigerian is one who is contented with the little you can do for him. Government presence coming around. OJ, you see, when you see governors going to pay courtesy visits to families that are diseased, when an officer dies in the army, you see the chief of army staff sometimes go by himself to go and condole with the family. That sense of strength, that sense of relief. Everything is a mind game. You need to play that mind game. Oh, when the president came, the guys to understand the vice president is there. But you see, in this time, in this part of the divide, people don't really, let's be very honest. I don't even know I don't know who is my deputy governor. As a journalist, I don't know who is the deputy governor of my state. It sounds very funny, but I don't know. And so is it in other states. Number one is number one. That is where we have. That's the reality we have come to accept in this country.
Because the number 2 is at most in most cases is being sidelined.
Not even sidelined. Even we, the citizens, we don't
regard
even regard number 2. That is why you see most number 2 nursing an ambition to be number 1. In some cultures, like the Benin culture, the first son will never see the father sitting down on the throne live. I don't know if they still practice it up to now. You will never see his father sitting down on that throne. And the whole idea is to avoid anarchy, let him not begin to nurse ambition to, because the glory surrounding that throne, let him not begin to nurse the ambition and probably rebel his father.
Okay, so send him away.
Send him away. They discuss through different means. But you will never see his father sitting on that throne. Life like this. Even God, the creator of heaven and earth, at some point attracted anarchy. The devil looked at him, just the story in the holy books, and wanted to be number 1. And that was what led to the fall of Satan. He wanted to be number 1, and he raised 1/3 of the angels, and they went for a war. And they were defeated, and they cast them down to earth. Lucifer. So that is to tell you the power, the ambience that surrounds that seat called number 1. 001 is 001 OG. There's something about it.
So because he traveled the following a day after the twin bomb blast. He traveled.
It's OJ.
Yes, a day after that. Yeah.
It's OJ.
So he could have flown to Maiduguri, maybe spend 10-15 minutes.
I want to advise the handlers of the president boldly. There are certain actions the president will take that is even bigger than 10 campaigns. One of it is this kind of visit that makes more impact than 10 campaigns put together. If I were to be the handler of the president, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu calls me today and say, Ken, I want you to be one of my SAs, I will tell him, sir, that visit to Borno State, the impression it will create for you is far weightier and stronger than 10 campaigns put together.
Okay, what if the president did not travel to Borno State because the governor is not around?
The governor traveled and, of course, transmitted power to the vice, as enshrined in the constitution. So the vice is the governor at that moment, so he can receive the president. Of course. So he goes there, and then, even though it's for 1 hour, that shows sympathy with the people. It speaks volume more than 10 campaigns, OJ.
Now, if it were Lagos that we had any disaster at all, and the president were to be around the way he was around when it happened before traveling to UK, do you think he would have traveled to UK and not visiting Lagos?
Well, thank God it didn't happen in Lagos. I mean, I cannot speak for now because it has not happened. But what I want to say is this: whether it is Lagos or Borno State, it's one Nigeria. One should not. I wouldn't want to be a party of anybody that will say, okay, or try to compare whether it happens in Lagos or in Anambra State. What matters is anywhere it happens in Nigeria. And he's the president for all. He should learn. Our leaders should go beyond just making statements, condemning actions, sending service chiefs, doing the usual. We are tired of the usual. The reason why the likes of P2B is attracting more followers and not organic followership is what I'm telling you.
The empathy.
As a governor in Anambra State, he visits secondary schools and he has the phone numbers of head boys and head girls. Imagine the governor of your state calling you as a head boy to find out what your post and your challenge. You're not even calling the principal. Do you know the sense of belonging it gives to you as a student? Ordinary wave and handshake. That's why they call it presidential handshake. People celebrate it. Some people will not even bath for 1 week. They won't wash their hand. Do you know what the office of the president is? A lot of sentiment and emotional sentiment that comes with it. The vice president went to Borno State. He did not command any impact the way it's supposed to go. Because people, in this part of the world, Nigerians, 001 is 001. If the president is coming to this TV station today, I can assure you that the MD will likely lodge in the nearest hotel close to this place. In fact, all of us we're going to have all night preparing.
Okay, now let's quickly look at the entourage that he took with him. Over 100, about 130, 137. According to reports,
and who is footing the bill?
And who is footing the bill? So, for how long are we going to continue with this? If the producer can quickly put up that picture for us again, let's quickly see. You can see the minister, the minister of finance. You can see the CDS is there. Okay, this is where we I think the picture is blurry somehow, but we can see the minister of. Yes, the Minister of Finance there. You know, all the ministers are there. The top government functionaries, you can see them. Over 130 of them. Is all this necessary? Is this necessary, Kenneth?
You are going to.
Yeah, you can see the Minister of Finance there. You can see the Minister of Defense. You know. You might excuse these two, okay? You might excuse these two, but look at the dignitaries. You can see the solid mineral, minister. You can Minister of Information, you know, the Minister of Information. Look, you can see the power. In fact, all the powerful men in Nigeria
is there.
Are in London as we speak.
Nigeria is there.
All the powerful people in Nigeria are in London as we speak. So is this really necessary? With the rate of poverty, rate of inflation, as it were, is all this necessary? Or is it because it's a historic visit? Can we put it that way? To be fair to the government, this is a historic visit, happening the first time in almost in about 40 years. So maybe you think this is necessary because it is investment, that they are going to attract investment.
I think you are.
So what do you make of this?
You should be appointed as one of the spokesperson of the president.
No, of course, I'm not. I'm just trying to, let's just balance it. Because maybe it's from that perspective.
Well, when you say the visit is historic, well, it might be true. It is historic. And like I said, I don't have a problem with him going to the UK. I don't have a problem. It was a 2-day visit. And of course, the president has the private jet. The jet can as well touch Borno State in 1 hour and then they take off again and then still make the trip. And going to the number of people gathering there. Well, we've had other presidents attending historic visits too.
And they don't carry this kind of entourage.
This is Molwe boss approach. Who is paying for those trips? The hotels, the food, the transport. It's government money. If you have over 100 ministers and government officials going to UK, just put it in Naira and Kobo. I'm not talking of the one that accompanies the president, the office of the president and the wife. Put it in Naira and Kobo, OJ. And then you tell ASU that you don't have money to increase salaries of lecturers. So why won't ASU go on strike?
Or doctors go on strike.
Or doctors go on strike. These are the things that provoke. You are telling your landlord you don't have rent, but you are cooking soup with 2 big chicken, agric chicken. You are owing rent in front of your landlord. You are parking a G-Wagon. You are just displaying a G-Wagon. OJ, just put on that. You put on your thinking about that analogy. You are owing rent too. And you have G-Wagon. You have a Bentley. And you are owing.
Yeah. We have to go. You are
laughing, OJ.
Honestly.
What explanation do you have for your landlord?
For your landlord. All right. Thank you very, very much. Our time is fast spent, and we just have to go. Let the discussion continues.
I don't want to. I just want to end it here.
All right. Thank you very much. And Achidi, of course, after here, we'll discuss the Salah.
And that's very important. I think we've forgotten about that. The Salah meet starts from now.
Yeah, the Salah starts from now. All right. Thank you very much. Our dear audience, wherever you are. We hope that you really enjoyed the show today. If you do, join us on the Friday edition. We, of course, will bring you other interesting, topics affecting us as citizens of this country. Of course, we want the country to be better and better for all of us. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Of course, it is at Politics&BusinessTV.English on YouTube. At Politics, the sign of and there, at BusinessTV.English. At Politics and Business TV English on Facebook. And of course, Instagram is P&B_TV_English. And on X, P&B_TV_English. Do well to follow us to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on our social media handles. I'm Omike Joseph Matthew on behalf of the team who say have a wonderful day ahead of you and let there be peace in the country. Bye-bye.